I gotta go on live right now. All right. Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
And we'd like to start off by giving our honor and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem,
Yahushua,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem. And we want to give double honors to our elder apostles, the elder bishops of Great Millstone, Ruel. Peace and blessing, health and wellness at the house of David the elect, man. All right. And we are the Hebrew Israelites, man. Out here once again, week in, week out, here to prophesy the last few seconds of America, man. All right. Yahweh Shai has put it in the spirit of all these movie directors to give you visuals about what's about to happen to America. Whether it was the movie The Knowing, all right, whether it was the movie The Purge, whether it was the movie what's the movie I was talking about, the Road, whether it was the Book of Eli, all right. All these, the most I always put the spirit on these directors to give you visuals about what's about to happen to America, man. And you know what? Every time there's a new football game, every time there's a new event, you get wrapped back up into the matrix. Did you go ahead with 2nd Ezra?
It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, starting verse 1. And he answered me, saying, the Most High hath made this world for many, but the world to come for few.
What has to take place for that to be manifested? All right? They just had the last movie Purge to come out. All right? And I think it's the 5th Purge. All right? And things are going to have to happen on this planet Earth. And it's going to be so drastic that if the spirit is not with you, you're gonna bug out, man. All right, the time of Jacob's trouble is gonna be one of those things where the world to come is gonna be made for few. World War III is one of those things that's gonna take place, all right, where the world to come is gonna be made for few, man. All right, you got it, brother.
Verse 2, I will tell thee the similitude for Ezra as when thou actions so like start again. Yeah. 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, verse 2. I would tell thee a similitude, Ezra, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mound, wherefore earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of, even so is the course of this present world. There be many created, but few shall be saved.
There'll be many created, which totally denounces Christianity, totally negates Christianity. I was meditating on how messed up Christianity is. Basically, it's an extension of Satanism, do as thou wilt. But Christianity is going to have you thinking that everybody's going to be on God's kingdom, all right? No, there's going to be a great sifting on the planet Earth in which millions, if not billions of people are going to be going back to the spirit world, man, in great multitudes, man. All right, go ahead.
And this is our 2nd Zechariah 13:8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die.
Now that goes to show you that it's not talking about literal land, because the land can't be put to death. It's a people before it's a land. 2/3 of our people are about to be put to death. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, two parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd shall be left therein.
And we hope and pray and beg for mercy that we're part of that 1/3 that survives, man. It's going to barely make it, man. But we're coming into drastic times that our people have never experienced. Because as it says in Revelation 12, they were going to be nourished under this beast, man. So they're going to unplug this system from us. We're going to be unplugged from this system, man. All right? You got something other about the mind. Yeah, you keep going.
Back in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, verse 4. So answered I and said, swallow then down, O my soul, understanding, and devour wisdom. For thou hast agreed to give ear, and art willing to prophesy, for thou hast no longer space than only to live. O Yahweh, if thou suffer not thy servant, that we may pray before thee, and thou give us seed unto our heart, and culture to our understanding, that there may come fruit of it.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 8. It says, better is the end of a thing than the beginning
See,
thereof.
that's the thing. See, Esau, of course, in this man's kingdom, the end of his kingdom is the end of the world. Let him tell it. And what we've been propagated to is that, well, when it's the end for me, that's the end for everybody. But like they said in that movie, The Girl with All the Gifts, and I recommend brothers watch that movie. That little Israelite girl told that Edomite man, it's not the end of the world no more. It is the end of your world. It's not the end of the earth no more. It just doesn't belong to you. You see? Something to that effect. All right.
Ecclesiastes 1 and 4. One generation pass away, another generation come, but the earth abide forever.
The earth abideth forever. Don't you understand that the Most High is a fair judge who allows every race of man to run the world? And don't you know the only thing that's going on is this man is about to lose his position on earth? That's all it is. The earth is still going to be here. All right? I'm sorry, brother. Can you repeat this one again?
Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit.
If a man has his foot on your head and the Most High kills that man, that means you get to rise up and stand up on your 2 feet. But unless the Most High takes that man out of power, you're going to be oppressed. Better is the end of that man who has his foot on your head than the beginning when he first put his foot on your head, man. Now Jacob can finally stand up on his 2 feet and run the earth. All right, you have the brother.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, said the Lord Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, said the Lord Yahweh.
It's that new covenant. It's him putting the laws in our minds. All right, as opposed to we have to memorize the laws, and you got to have it on your phylacteries, and you got to tell the laws to your little ones, and you got to make sure you keep it out of laws every day.
Just like Judges 5 and 11.
Yep.
Like practicing and rehearsing.
Yep, practicing and rehearsing. But now he's going to reprogram us. He's going to put that new software program in us where it's second nature to keep the laws. All right, was this, were you been into a point in that?
No, I'm just going to read on. It's more than the next verse.
Okay, fine.
Verse 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, said the Lord Yahweh, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their power.
Well, it's heavy that it's saying right in their hearts, because that's literally programming. If you look up the word program in the etymology, pro means before, gram means to write, like telegram.
Right.
So he's literally gonna program the laws in us, man. You know. So right now, our nature works contrary to the law, pursuant to the book of Colossians. But in the kingdom, our nature is gonna work in synergy with the law, man. All right. Oh, I'm so sorry, brother.
I got to back you up on that.
I
It's
got
in Hebrews 8, starting at verse 8. It says, for finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, said the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
Yep.
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, said the Lord.
Yep.
For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, said the Lord.
Which a covenant is a contract. It's a deal. All right.
I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people.
You know how you got a smart car, or you have a artificial intelligence, where that robot that you create, it has its own government. It has its own autonomy. All right. So we're robots, right? But we're the rough draft robots. That's why you know referred to Adam as that first man Adam. The first man Adam was faulty. You know, but then he went back to the spirit world, all right? And now there's the last man Adam, which is Yahweh is perfect. But we're the Adamites that come after that. Yahweh was that prototype, and we're coming after it. So when we get lifted into those chariots, Abba willing, that new body is going to have a perfected program in it. It's not going to have that the 10064 program. It's going to have that high-tech program. You know?
Yeah. And it says, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest.
It's gonna be in our program, in our hardwire, man. And one thing that comes to mind as we speak, the brother Karab in Memphis had his mom had a vision about brothers receiving crowns, man. And he was describing how brothers looked when Yahweh was crowning them. How like this brother had a head full of hair. This brother had his like dark, you know, like a bronze pigment. This brother had a full beard, all right? But one thing that's gonna come with that too, with that new body, is that perfected programming, man. You're gonna have all the laws written in your DNA. Because a DNA is a program. It's a program in you to where at a certain age you're gonna hit puberty. At a certain age your chin gonna start getting wide. You're gonna have these mannerisms because of your DNA, your programming. But mostly your spirit. But but like it says in Psalms, I delight after the laws of the Most High, after the inward man. But I see another law in me working against the law of Yahweh Shai. But in the kingdom, that body, the law in you is gonna be the laws of the Most High. So you're gonna be an angel in a perfect body.
And that's the point about the marriage of the bride and the bridegroom. You know, meaning Yahweh and Yahweh Shai and the nation of Israel. Because the Heavenly Father stated what? That when man and woman come together, they do what? They become one flesh. Right? So her mind becomes your mind. Your thoughts become her thoughts. Your ways become her ways. And your actions become her actions. Not by purpose, but by naturality.
And if I can just build on that, when you have sex with her, you put your programming inside her.
Exactly.
Your DNA.
And that's what Yahweh Shai is going to do to the nation of Israel. Started what, as is written, from the least unto the greatest. And that's inclusive of all the 12 tribes. Judah all the way down to the tribe of Issachar.
Can you picture an Israelite not committing adultery?
Shit, that's big.
It's second nature. That's big, man. It's stuff. You got it, brother.
Okay. I would say that goes back because, like they brought out in 2 chapter 8, how the Lord said that the world, this world is for many, but the world to come is for few, man. And those few are what we going into is for the Lord's elect, man. Those are the ones gonna receive those new bodies. Those are the ones who gonna have deliverance. Those are the ones who is gonna be set up when this devil is brought down, man.
And then when you say elect, that's a small word.
A small word.
Like when you say elect, the word elect goes back to the elite. If you look up the word elect in the Merriam Dictionary, it goes back to elite. Elite is not a large number. It's a small number. It's a small group.
It's like the Illuminati.
Yup. You got it, bro.
This is Jeremiah 9 and 25. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised, Egypt and Judah and Edom, and the sons of Ammon and Moab, and all that are in the utmost corners that dwell in the wilderness, for all these nations are uncircumcised, and all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in the heart. Now, when you focus on uncircumcised, according to the Hebrew, it's Iralah. And when you get to the lexicon, it states uncircumcised in heart, into which divine precepts cannot penetrate. Woo! So basically, that's why we need that perfect body.
Perfect body.
So the 2/3 and the non-elect that's scattered throughout the four corners of the world, they don't have this understanding. You know,
They got the stony heart.
they have a stony heart.
And that's why I can't penetrate it.
That's right.
I'm sorry.
Well, so that's why the Most High said that He's gonna give us what? He's gonna give us a heart of flesh.
Fleshly heart.
Because even we got stony hearts. But we're rehearsing the righteous act.
Yeah.
But in the kingdom, man, all Jacob be righteous, man.
And the fleshly heart can be soaked, it can be saturated
It penetrated.
and penetrated.
Yep.
Symbolic for what? The Most High programming His law, statutes, and commandments.
Hey, because your brother might refer to his wife as his earth. Like 5% of them refer to their woman as their earth.
Yeah.
But it's hard to penetrate a stony ground.
Yeah.
It's hard to penetrate hard, callous soil. Hard head, it's hard to penetrate it.
So if a woman is dry, I mean, not to be vulgar,
No,
but it's hard to
respect.
penetrate her.
But even with her mind, because the Most High is dealing with our mind.
Right.
You know, the Most High is dealing with the inward parts of man. And when you have a reprobate spirit or a reprobate mind, when you look at a man, he's impenetrable. When you have a woman that's rebellious and hard-headed and won't listen, right? She's impenetrable.
Yeah.
And that's why you give her
To go.
her walking papers, man. It's because those women are the same compared to how the Heavenly Father looks at the rebellious people of his own children, man.
Right. Jeremiah 4:3. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh to the men of Judah and Jerusalem, break up your fallow ground and sow not among thorns.
Yep. Hey, break up your fallow ground. It said fallow.
Fallow, F-A-L-L-O-W.
Hey, it's heavy. I look at the word fallow, and that's the grounds where, like during the Sabbath, you don't till it. You know, that's the, because you know you gotta till the land for 6 years. You work the land for 6 years, and then in 1 year you let the land fallow, which means you don't mess with it. So then after that you have to break it back again, man. Showing you that Jake, he's hard-headed, man. Like you say, his head is hard to penetrate, like a stony ground, man. You know, but the elect, the Most High is dealing with that. He's breaking the tie of spirits, man. All right. Did you have something else, bro?
No, that's it.
Yeah, you just heard something, all right?
Because this is Hebrews 1:1. The Most High, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets.
And that's who's going to break the fallow ground if the Most High sees it fit. You know, because when you think about fallow, like the brother saying, it's something that has not been tilled or untillable.
Abandoned.
Right.
Abandoned, yep.
Right. So, hey, B, if I can just back you up real fast. Romans 9:62. Romans.
You know, hey, but like I said, second Ezra's, man. That's gonna be that ceremony. We get transitioned into the kingdom, man. All right, and we're gonna have laws written in our minds, man. Right now, look, you forget it's the Sabbath. You know, you forget to look on the ingredients. You will eat something that got something you can't eat in it. You know, all type of shit, man.
That's why the book of Corinthians it said, in the twinkling of an eye we shall be changed.
Yep.
You know, not only in the physical, but in the spiritual as well. Hey, because the Most High, that's why through King David, he's renewing and restoring that old house, the old tabernacle of David, man.
Mm-hmm. And this is Luke 9:62. And Yahushua said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High.
Now that goes into, you know, you abandoning the work. But if you literally, all right, put your hand to the plow and put it back, and the land is gonna be abandoned. It's gonna be fallow. It's gonna be hardened.
Right.
It's hardened.
Right.
That's why I said a child left to himself should be, you know, obstinate, stubborn. You know.
So the Most High has the prophets plowing, symbolic for teaching and breaking up the fallow grounds of the hopeful elect. And when you go into that term plow, also it means to turn up.
Yep. You got it, brother.
Like that's what happens when you take that mule with that plow and you go through the ground. And that's why I call it fallow, because that ground up alone becomes hardened.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's been scorched out by the sun for a prolonged duration of time. So now all the nutrients at the top layer are pretty much diminished and depleted and have succumbed themselves inside of the earth.
Right.
So until you get past that thick callus, you can call it, on top, that's when you reach those true nutrients. And that's why the Heavenly Father set up that land Sabbath, man. And because he allowed the earth, the ground itself, to restore and rejuvenate itself. And that's why that top layer, it does what? It topples over, it flips over. So now it's back in the middle.
Till the land. Till the land. Which that's an important part of agriculture, which a lot of you Israelite camps were planning to keep all the laws. You wouldn't know about it. Because we've been here too long, man. All right.
Sirach chapter 17, verse 14 out of 16. And he said unto them, beware of all unrighteousness, and he gave every man commandment concerning his neighbor. Their ways are ever before him, and should not be hid from his eyes. Every man from his youth is given to evil, neither could they make to themselves fleshy hearts for stony.
Every man from his youth is given to evil. That scripture reminds me of that in Romans, where it says the creature was made subject unto vanity. You're subject to it. If you know what's heavy? If you're left by yourself, you start to go into a negative programming. Your mind starts to go into, you probably start daydreaming about folly. You know, if you leave your flesh to its own devices, you start deviating to some negativity, man.
And what happens when the computer is on idle? It becomes dark. The screen becomes dark. Your mind is that computer screen.
That's why you gotta constantly pour your house side in us, man.
And what you do that by touching the keyboard.
You know? All right, staying active, staying involved.
Locked in.
Staying locked in. What about the next one?
We both have. Okay, good.
It's the book of John, chapter 10, starting verse 27. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life.
Yeah, the elect are voice activated. Yahweh Shai's lamb, they're voice activated, man. So when they heard the apostles, or you was in school and a friend told you, you're the chosen ones, some triggered in you, man. Because we're voice activated, man. But the 2/3, no, they just stayed there. All right? They didn't get activated when they heard the word, man. All right?
And they shall never perish.
Because it tells you in Wisdom of Solomon, basically, he returns into those holy souls every generation. So every carnation are his elect, and they get activated. They get triggered by Yahweh Shai.
And when Yahweh Shai did to the fig tree that wasn't activated,
He destroyed it.
he cursed it.
You know?
Neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand.
Yep.
My Father which gave them me is greater than all.
Ain't they heavy? We were given to Yahweh Shai by the Most High. Yahweh gave us to Yahweh Shai, man.
He sold us.
He sold us, man.
And he bought us back through Yahweh Shai. And therefore Yahweh Shai became or received ownership.
Man.
And no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand.
Yep.
I and my Father are one.
Yep. And that'll go over people's head. Because Yahweh Shai is not the Most High. Yahweh is not Yahweh Shai. All right, can you get that rule? Before you get your scripture, real quick, you get that Proverbs, what is his name? What is his son's name? The water. Because they have the same intention. Yahweh Shai came on the earth in the stead of Yahweh.
Right.
Because the king doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
The king sits in his throne. But he sends forth an ambassador in his stead, man. Old school style, ancient world style, man. All right?
They say, Elder, if you had a basketball team and the objective is to win a championship, the basketball team could hold with 25 members, right?
Yep.
But they're one, right? Because the goal is to win a championship.
Yep. Same, one body, one mind.
Yeah.
One band, one sound.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 4. Who have ascended up into the heaven, or descended? Who have gathered the wind in his fist? Who has bound the waters in a garment? Who have established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell?
What is his name and what is his son's name? Showing you there's a separation between two entities. There are two entities. What you got to learn?
This is Hebrews 1 and 2. Well, I started 1 again. It says, the Most High, who at sundry times in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the world.
Yep. Yep. There you got to go.
Yeah, and this is the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 28. I'll start at 27. It says, and ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your power, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed, and it shall come
Can I say something on it?
Yep.
And that's a cut on you Christians saying that the Lord loves everybody, man. Like right there specifically, he's saying that he's only dealing with Israel, man. You know, he said, I'm the Lord your God and none else. So that never changed, man. He's the God of Israel, you know.
This book was never supposed to be published to the other nations. Like a New York bestseller.
Right.
You know, it's a book for Israel.
Right.
That's why it only has our chronicles. Why doesn't this book have the chronicles of Moab?
That's cold. That's it.
You know, it has our chronicles going back from Adam to Samuel. I'm sorry, Samuel to the house of David.
Right.
We actually have a book called the Book of Chronicles.
Chronicles mean time.
Time. So why doesn't they have the chronicles, all right, of all the other nations, man? Come on, man.
And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions.
And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. And when it comes to a daughter prophesying, a lot of times the Most High will give a vision to your woman. Well, let's say you stay with your mother, you're a young prophet. He might get that vision to your mom. See, this your sons and your daughters prophesying, and brother have a dream. All right?
And that vision is for you to break down.
Yep.
That's all it is. So if your wife or your daughter or your sister receive a vision, that vision is for you.
Yep. That's right. You got it, All right, but hey, your sons and your daughters should prophesy. Prophesy what? Of these times to come.
Right.
Then he said, I'll pour out my spirit upon our flesh, man. That's why people, Edomite get into an accident, be knocked unconscious, go into the spirit world, and see Yahweh. He see a dark-skinned man that looks like Morgan Freeman. All right, which, you know. Or have you ever seen the movie, if you saw the book called The Cake? All right, it was a Caribbean man, all right, that was watching over that little Edomite boy, but he had dark brown skin and had a full white beard, full white hair. That's how Yahweh looks, man. That's I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh.
That's what happened to the one Edomite that was in a coma.
Yep.
Brother wife.
Yep.
And she spoke to, the spirit.
He said the Lord was a nigga or something like that. You know?
Or these heathen nations dreaming about WW3.
Yep.
Who was an angel? He said the Lord, angel.
It might have been an angel.
He said Jesus was a nigga.
Oh yeah, that was it. That was it.
They took him to a psych ward, man.
Yep.
He said he wasn't important up there. Yeah. He said like white people are not important up there. Speaking about the spirit world.
Yep.
Less than important. This is the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 17.
Real quick, Isaiah 40. The nations are a drop as a bucket. You didn't have to get it, but I just say the nations, they're not important. Isaiah 40 and 15 through 17. The nations are a drop of a bucket, so his vision was right on point with the scriptures. You know? No, you guarded it up?
Yeah.
Okay, come.
All right, Isaiah 40 and 15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing.
There's an isle go back to island, right?
Yep.
But it goes back to the heathen, the island dwellers.
Yep.
All right? But the nations are as a drop of a bucket. So there's a hierarchy when it comes to heathens. And Israel is at the top of the hierarchy.
And then if you think about this, an island is nothing compared to a large land, right?
Yep.
You know?
It's significant.
It's
That's
insignificant.
a beautiful point, man. You know?
Jump down to 17. It says, all nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing in vanity.
You don't know the God of Israel, man. You don't know the God of the Bible, man. And no, he did not have a change of heart in the so-called New Testament, man.
Right, brother.
Because you look up the words of Gentiles that he came back for, those were scattered Israelites.
That's right, man.
Israelite foreigners.
That's right.
And it says it plainly in the NLD,
Yeah.
the New Living Translation.
And then the man himself, Yahushua, told that heathen woman, the Samaritan, like, you don't know what you worship, right? For salvation is of the Jews.
Salvation is of the Jews, man. How can the captain, how can the plantation owner be saved from his own plantation?
Right. Exactly.
You save the man that's captive. All right? Because what's the plantation owner gonna say? Oh, I'm so glad you made it here. You know, like, no, man. You have to save him. You have to save the hostage, man. You know?
And you know, that shows how seriously jacked up Jake is the man for them Jakes who go to these churches that are run by Esau, man.
Yeah.
Where Esau is the preacher, man. That makes absolutely no sense. I mean, going to church, period, don't make no sense. But to go to your oppressor, for him to supposedly tell you how to be saved, how is that possible, man?
Hey, but
Stockholm Syndrome.
and it's why I said to Jeremiah, thy wound is incurable.
Yep.
Christianity is part of that incurable wound.
Yeah.
Because I went to a church, one of the churches that I went to, that was not, Mom had you going to, it was an Edomite preacher. But, Edomites, they're very good at conveying a message. They got those buttery words, man. They're very, Jake be huffing and puffing. Esau slick with the words, man.
Yeah, words were sweeter than words were
Smoother than butter.
That was in his heart, man. But even going back to the plantation, Esau wasn't really preaching. He just hired nigger preachers.
Yeah. Yep. Same thing today, bro.
Bishop T.D. Jakes, that's a nigger preacher.
Yeah. And then the niggas starting in movies and shit.
Yeah, man. Well, you just showed me a video where T.D. Jakes referred to the Most High. He said that word El Shaddai means breasted God. What? T.D. Jakes said El Shaddai means breasted God. But the reason why they refer to it as breasted God because Baphomet has breasts.
That's what I was
Well,
thinking.
he trying to link that shit.
Through the
Okay.
Spirit, I believe.
But that makes sense, bro.
That's what I thought too.
Because Joyce Meyer said the same thing. God is a breasted God.
Yeah.
But the only quote unquote God that has breasts is Baphomet.
Well, yeah, and all these preachers are basically Masons.
They're Freemasons.
Yeah.
And that's what they worship in Hollywood. A lot of your so-called actors have actually, well, like the males, they were actually born females and vice versa.
Yep.
Because why? That's who they worship from a Hollywood standpoint.
That's a form of being a alphabet game, a trans body.
Yeah.
You're basically an extension of Baphomet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are.
What you call androgynous?
Yeah, androgynous.
Androgynous, man. You know, you got a lot of nigga women walking around with masculine energy. Basically, they got the spirit of Satan. That's
That's
Baphomet.
Baphomet. Yeah.
That's it.
And they think it's cute.
Yeah.
But you know, I know you had a scripture, brother, or you had a point you was gonna make.
I'm looking, dog.
Wow.
Yeah, but TD Jake said God, El Shaddai means breasted God, but breasted God is basically Baphomet because he has breasts, but there's a penis, you know? Basically, he's drawing everybody to Baphomet.
Yep.
You know, that's why, hey, when Aleister Crowley came back from Egypt, shit in the world changed. He was the one that kicked off the hippie movement. Spread the love came from Aleister Crowley. The whole love thing came from Aleister Crowley. Like, no, this is all about love. Love, brother, peace.
Yeah.
That's Satanism.
And the peace symbol is basically a broken upside down cross.
Yep. Wow. Yep. Hey, Codex Magic, I gotta get that book again.
Yeah.
That book breaks it down, man. All right?
I got something real quick.
Yep.
And it's an article. It says, question, have you ever heard the phrase, the many-breasted God? I'm gonna jump down to the point. It says, a while back, my daughter and I visited a local church and they gave an altar call for people who have some special needs. My daughter, who had been looking for work near to home, went up and asked for prayer. The pastor's wife laid hands on her and during her prayer asked the many-breasted God to clear the path for her. My daughter was shocked and as we left, told me about the incident and asked where in the Bible God was referred to in such a way. I told her frankly that the only reference for a many-breasted God came from pagan sources.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's paganism, man.
Because if the Most High was associated with that, that's confusion.
Yep.
To be both genders, that's confusion. It doesn't make sense.
Yep. And that goes into I want to say dualism.
Yeah, that's it.
The masculine and feminine energy combining both. That's a form of Satanism, man. Dualism. Yeah, that nigga TD Jake said that shit because he was commissioned to say that, man.
Yeah.
All right. Basically, everybody with the New World Order. Everybody's being grafted into Satanism, man.
Yeah, yep. Everybody's a damn freak, and they showed you in the Fifth Element,
Yep.
Hunger Games.
Yep.
Like in the future, everybody is a freak, and we see it now.
Yeah, that's why the niggas with like the Hunger Games, everybody had like that metrosexual makeup. But now these niggas they metrosexual, man.
Weird ass hair and shit.
Yeah, you got not only you got dreads, you got it painted golden. You got golden dreads.
Even in the metaverse, you know, they're digitizing life, they're digitizing sex. They're having digital electronic orgy parties and stuff like that.
Does anybody remember that movie in the 90s with Wesley Snipes? Was it Blade?
Right.
It was one of those movies where the woman invited him.
Demolition Man. That's
Demolition
it.
Man?
That's it, bro.
The
Yeah.
woman invited him to sex, so he thought it was fit to get it on.
Yeah, yeah.
But now she had him put on a helmet.
That's Demolition Man.
Yeah, so she got on the helmet, and they having virtual sex. And he like, what the hell?
With Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone, man. You know? But now we're here.
We're here now. Yeah.
We're here, man.
Hey, surrogates. They show the same thing pretty much.
You had an alter avatar. You had a different avatar in the metaverse in the movie Surrogates, man. All right? So this is not a coincidence. They're coming out with this virtual reality, man. All right?
You know, that's going to contribute to repopulation, man. You know, you got people doing that, there's not going to be no physical contact.
You know? Because you got sex robots. You got sex robots. You got virtual reality sex. And now you have no reason to reproduce. You know, like I said, it's going to population control.
We still want it.
Yeah.
What, 500 million?
Yep.
And this also proves that your so-called reality is scripted. This shows that reality is so-called scripted. Because even when we talk about Joe Biden and things of that nature, hey, they had a movie called, what was that, Top Gun? Hot Shots. Hot Shots. And they depicted that man as being what, a buffoon. You know, basically he didn't have any type of intelligence to support that he was an actual so-called candidate of the United States. So Hot Shots president was the prophecy of Joe Biden. All right, that shows you everything is fucking scripted, man. And when you watch TV and things of that nature, even so-called news, you have to question it, man. Because Esau is the so-called God of this world. Go ahead, bro.
It's the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Right, the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. And who gave the earth into the hand of the wicked? The Most High through his son Yahweh Shai. Get Hebrews 1 and 3 again. Right? Because, get Hebrews 1 and 3. Read that again, bro.
It's the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24.
Right.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
So who's the wicked? Now jump to Malachi 1 and 4. Let's define the wicked. Right? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Hand is what's symbolic for might, control, power, dominion, rulership. Right? Okay. You got that? Okay.
Hey, Esau's a forger of lies. This is scripture I'm holding on deck while y'all looking for that, man. Esau's I'm just gonna bring it out right quick. Job 13 and 4. But ye are forgers of lies, you are all physicians of no value. And the scripture said forger, right?
Yeah.
But this nigga forged his narratives.
That's it.
He forged his narratives.
Through his media, his history, his school system, his pharmaceutical companies.
Then every year in the school system, you learn the same thing over and over. Your program.
That's it.
Because you got a word called inculcate. That Apostle Brown broke it down. Especially you learn something through repetition. You program a human through repetition. So that they're forging those same narratives through all those different avenues to the point where you just accept it as a reality.
And did not Yahweh Shai program Peter?
Yep.
Hey, if you love me, feed my sheep 3 times. Hey, basically that was a form of spiritual program.
That's right, bro.
Right? That's conditioning.
Yep.
To get that person to do something because of the mindset you have taught him through instructions based on repetition. So when you leave, it's just like you still here, man.
Yep.
Let me get that Malachi 1 and 4 about the wicked.
It's Malachi 1 and 4. Whereas Edom said, we are perished, but we will build them, but we will. It's Malachi 1 and 4.
Malachi 1 and 4.
Whereas Edom said,
Edom is who? So-called white people.
Right.
Based on the lineage of their fathers. Modern day white people. Modern means what? Just now. Because if you go to biblical doctrine, according to the scriptures, right, there are actually Edomites, right? The progenitor was who? Esau. Go ahead, bro.
but we will build, but we will return and build desolate places.
And that's what they have done. Through what? Build the Renaissance, which means rebirth. And their so-called Renaissance came what? The rebirth came out of the Dark Ages or the Middle Ages. Go ahead, bro.
Thus said the Most High of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
Yeah, the Most High is going to throw this whole setup down, man.
Yeah.
We are in the end of Esau's existence as a ruler on earth. Go ahead, bro.
They shall call them the border of wickedness.
The border of witness. Border in the Hebrew is talking about a territory. So no matter where they at, these people are the wicked. I don't give a fuck if they're on the moon. These people are the wicked.
And can I,
Please, yo.
what manifests as wicked? Like if he's the border of wicked, what is it in his behavior that manifests as wicked?
His spirit, right?
Yep, and his spirit, his ways.
His ways, yo.
You know,
Yeah.
it's wicked, and he spread that philosophy of rebellion.
That's it.
So all nations go a whoring through his philosophy.
Yeah.
Western thought,
Yeah.
freedom,
Yeah.
liberty.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it says when was it the Alexander's generals came into power, wickedness is spread throughout
That's
the earth.
it. That's it. And they were all Edomites.
All Edomites. All of them.
All of them. Go ahead, bro.
The border, they should call them the border of wickedness.
Call them the border of wickedness. Go ahead.
The people against whom the Most High had indignation forever.
Hey, indignation means what? Righteous anger. Righteous anger. So the Most High has every right to be mad at the wicked. Why? Because they're performing as the wicked on earth. And therefore, by default, they're not the righteous. Right? Now get Hebrew, no, my bad. Go get Job 9 and 24 again. Hebrews 1 and 3. We'll talk about the Most High.
Book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24.
Right.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
So we already defined the wicked. Now the earth is what? This place, right? Go ahead, bro.
And it's Hebrews 1 and 3.
Now the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Go ahead.
Who been the brightness of his coming.
Talk about who? Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is the brightness of his father's coming. Go ahead.
It's Hebrews 1 and 3. Who been the brightness of his glory. And
So Yahweh Shai is the brightness of the Most High's glory. Go ahead.
and the express image of his person.
Meaning what? Facsimile, when you look this term up in the Greek, it goes into facsimile, which means what? The exact copy. So from a spiritual assessment, from a physical assessment, if the Most High came on earth, he would do and act the same way his son Yahweh Shai did.
Bro, I got you in the LC. And this in the New Living Translation Bible. All right, same scripture, Hebrews chapter 1, verse 3. It says, the sun radiates God's own glory and expresses the very character of God.
You can't get around facsimile. The exact copy, right? The exact copy. Go ahead, bro.
And he sustains everything by the mighty power of his command.
So everything everything Yahweh Shai was allowed to do on earth, it was given to him from our Father Yahweh. Now, keep going, bro.
And upholding all things by the word of his power.
Right?
When he had by himself purged all sins, sat down on the right hand of the Majesty on high.
They said something about him creating the rules. Yeah, verse 2, my bad.
Right. It's Hebrews 1 and 2. Had in these last days spoken.
So we are in these last days. And proof be known, basically when Yahweh Shai came on earth, it was classified as the last day. How do you know? You go to Hebrews 1 and 1. Go ahead, bro.
Unto us by his son,
Right.
who had appointed heir of all things,
So Yahweh Shai is the heir of all things. Go ahead.
by whom also he made the world.
Right, he made the world, right? So worlds also going into what? An age, a kingdom, a dominion. So the reason why Esau, beginning with the nobility at this time frame, controlled his world is because the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. And if you want to be real specific, all you have to do is go to Genesis the 27th chapter, right? When Isaac basically gave Esau that blessing, that's how you know Isaac was Yahweh Shai, because he had the power to give him a kingdom, a world, a dominion, a rulership. All right?
King being, and that's what it means. The brother always puts that vibration be kingdom minded.
That's it.
You know, Yahweh Shai give you a kingdom.
That's
man.
it. A synthetic kingdom.
Yep.
Like that. All right, yes, I'm going. Romans 13:1.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 36, starting verse 1. The transgression of the wicked saith within my heart that there is no fear of the Most High before his eyes. For he flattereth himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found to be hateful. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He have left off.
And that's how Esau has controlled the entire world, is through deceit. When you go into that term deceit, in the book of Revelation, it goes into to lead the world into error or sin. Okay, and that's what this man has done, right? That's his prototype. That's the reason why he's the wicked. Everything he does, it inspires wickedness, man. Right? Go ahead, bro.
He has left off to be wise and to do good.
Right, he can't do it. This man is programmed to be sinister. He's programmed to be the wicked. He's programmed to be a thief, a murderer, a rapist, and so on and so forth. So you cannot basically institutionalize him with righteousness. Why? Because his spirit is contrary with righteousness.
His foundation was the streets.
His foundation was the streets.
Yes, yep.
Right? Go ahead, bro.
He devises mischief upon his bed.
Right, and that's what he does. He devises mischief on his bed. So when he's laying down, he's thinking about the come up.
What does they do? Like, they don't sleep unless they do
Yeah,
business.
yeah. He don't have a good night's sleep unless he don't fuck somebody up real bad. Go ahead, bro.
He sitteth himself in a way.
And Jake in the right spirit, hey, when they do something wrong, they can't even fucking sleep.
Nah, they can't sleep.
You
You keep
know?
them up. Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
He sitteth himself in the way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil.
Right. So he don't avoid wickedness, right? Why? Because he is the wicked, right? We want to get that Habakkuk chapter 2. Go ahead, bro.
That is Ecclesiastes 1:15. That which is crooked cannot be made
Hey,
straight.
if something is crooked, it's designed not to be straight, right? If something is made straight, it's designed not to be crooked. So if we're doing this from a symbolic standpoint, Esau is the wicked, right? So he cannot be created to be the righteous, and vice versa with Jacob. And since we said that, bro, in Luke 14 and go into the parable of Lazarus, man. Go ahead, my brother.
All right, Deuteronomy 32 and 32. For the vine is the vine of Sodom and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. The wine is the poison of dragons, and their cruel venom of caps.
Break that down, man.
All right, the vine is the vine of Sodom. Your vine is like your root, man.
That's it.
Your foundation, your DNA, or your spirit is perverse.
That's it.
So you can't make something do something outside of its nature.
Right.
All right, you can't make this pit viper charming
Right.
freely.
Yeah.
You know, you can put a little ribbon on it,
Yeah.
but its nature is still gonna be to bite you.
That's right.
All right. So Esau, even the so-called white man, his nature is contrary to the Most High.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
And that's why in every carnation he fulfills that same debaucherous caveman
That's
spirit.
it. That's it.
All right. You know, going back to the Romans.
Right.
You watch those Roman shows. All right. That's 2,000 years ago, right? But then you got these movies called like Savages. I don't know if y'all saw the movie Savages, but those coke dealers. All right.
Yeah.
It's the word Savages. That was Issachar's perception of Esau. Like these are freaks because those are the threesome and shit. All right. But no matter what carnation, they always present that Roman-like mindset, man. You know, that's all I had.
Go ahead,
All right. I got two for you. I'm gonna make it quick. Job chapter 14, verse 4. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one.
Hey, Esau's unclean. So therefore, no matter how good he does in your eyes, he's still wicked, man. And it's set up in the spirit. And there's no reversal within that concept. Go ahead, bro.
2nd Ezra chapter 11, verse 37. And I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion chased out of the wood, and I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle and said, Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them?
And this is what? Symbolic for what? The nation of Edom. Go ahead.
And specifically like the Roman Empire.
The Roman Empire, right?
And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world.
That's it.
With great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth, with much wicked oppression.
And how does he does his now? Sword, the technology, his indoctrination such as Christianity, democracy. Go ahead, bro.
All right, this is it right here. It says, And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
Deceit. And like I said again, when you go into that term deceit, in the Greek, it means to lead the world into error or sin.
Wow.
This is this man's profile, man.
They had the Enlightenment theory.
Yeah.
You know, because around the time of the Renaissance, that was around the time of the Age of Enlightenment.
That's it. That's it.
You know, being enlightened from traditionalism and the ways of the Most High.
Right.
Basically enlightening the Satanism.
That's
Satanism.
it. Yeah, you were enlightened already.
Yep.
Hey, this Jeremiah 13:23. Can the Ethiopian change his scheme?
Right.
Or the level his spots?
Right.
Then may ye also do good, y'all accustomed to do evil.
Right, because Esau doesn't do good according to the law, statutes, and the commandments. No, it's only for his benefit. You know? Hey, basically what he does is he makes it seem like he cares about you, but at the end of the day, it's all to keep you oppressed within this system. That's it. That's it. He has a ceiling that he doesn't want you to get beyond. Go ahead, bro.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 58, starting verse 2. Yea, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from
And
the
that's what he
womb.
does. He murders, he robs, he takes, he rapes. All right, and then before he does it, he'll come on TV and make it seem like it's all about democracy because their ruler is oppressing them. And even when you watch that movie Shooter, like you can simply say, it's not no Democrats and Republicans. It's not no, what else he saying? When it comes out into even these Muslim terms, the Shunites and the Shiites and Shiites, and it was another term. He said basically it's about haves and have-nots. Are you willing to sit down at the table? That's all it's about, man. It's about control through what? Deception. And through that deception, what happens? He has that ongoing rulership. Go ahead, bro.
The wicked are estranged from the womb.
Right, the wicked. So as soon as they're born, they start doing their thing. What about that little girl said something? What, a nigga stole the cookies? And she wasn't even 5 years old. Why did she manifest it? Because her spirit shows proof that she is the wicked, based on the lineage of her father.
Even with the case between this young Edomite girl had two dogs. One was a Caucasian, one was a so-called Negro.
Yeah.
And she had to choose between which one was good and which one was bad. I don't think it's take a rocket science to figure out which option she chose and which one was bad.
Right.
But that's that purified heart and wickedness that is instilled inside these Edomites, man.
Yep.
That's why, you know what I'm saying, the scripture talk about how Jacob was a plain man, and you compare it on the contrary, on how cunning Esau Edom is. He's always devising wickedness.
Yeah, right. And then even when you go into that term plain in Hebrew, what's it going into? He had morals based on what? The law, statutes, and the commandments. He kept the law to the best of his ability. That's what that meant.
And that's what keeps you safe.
Right.
Because you step outside the law, statutes, commandments, now you got turmoil,
Yeah.
you got chaos,
Yeah.
you got disarray.
Confusion.
But when you're a plain man,
Yeah.
all I want to do is chill. So hey, this gonna get me messed up.
Stay out.
I ain't got time for this.
Yeah, right.
Hey, one of the synonyms was plain, just to build peace.
Yep. Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah,
It was a
that's it.
peaceful
That's
land.
it.
You know, the 12 tribes in their nature, there's peace.
You just want to chill.
You know,
Just
chill,
mind your
man.
business.
I got a piece on right quick. All right, Genesis 25 and 27. It says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter.
Right, Esau was a cunning hunter. Esau is so-called white people. And he's cunning. Look how he hunts now from a symbolic standpoint, his prey, which are the inhabitants of the world. He got you thinking you're sick.
Yep.
He's hunting you down. Why? Because at the end of the day, he really wants that Revelation 13th chapter implanted inside of you.
That's it.
I mean, that's the point.
Oh,
Cause,
no,
no, I'm just saying, because, you know, you was going into the haves and the haves not.
Yeah.
And it's not about this, but it's the true ulterior motive.
Yeah.
It's really for him to be on top and him to oppress you,
That's
man.
it.
But oppression is like you in a pit.
Yeah.
But he had to ensnare you to fall into that pit.
That's it.
And what he does, he has that central banking system.
Yeah.
He gives out loans to these countries.
Yeah.
Then he put interest on those loans.
That's it.
Now those countries are indebted to him.
That's it.
That's a trap.
That's it.
He's a cunning hunter.
What's that? They have Habakkuk, that drag net,
Yep.
with that net.
Yep.
You know,
right.
Yeah.
Christianity, hey, that's a trap.
Yeah.
He's the word of his mouth is smoother than butter. That's a cunning hunter.
That's
Yeah.
it.
You know?
So it's safe to say on the left-hand side, he's kingdom minded.
He's
He don't want to fall
Yeah.
from his power.
Yeah.
man.
It is primarily targeted to Israelites, man.
That's
But
it.
when asked on the deathbed, what Esau say, you know, after the death of his father, he would slay his brother Jacob, man. Then it goes into that saying that he had Esau got the perpetual hatred toward Israel, man. So that's still on today, man. If you got perpetual hate somebody, you hate them that much, you would lie. You would do whatever to keep them down, man.
Yeah.
So that's why Esau saying, like Elder Bunny brought it regarding the dog, that programming, man.
Yeah.
Because Esau has painted Jake in the worst picture, man, as being the worst, the baddest, the most destructive, the ones you need to stay away from. You know, that stigma has been placed upon Jake because he took what he is and placed that image on Jake, man.
That's it.
Gaslighter.
Yeah.
You deflector.
Yeah.
You deflector. You do. Hey, that's the most powerful form of deflecting. Is to do it through your media.
That's it.
Hey, watch out for that guy.
Yeah.
You a whole thief. Hey man, don't trust that man. Yeah.
You know how at school Jacob be standing aside of you, and another thing he'll reach over, slap that joke across the head, and stand there, making it like you did.
Yeah.
And that's what he do. He'll do some shit and be standing on the other side, and be like, he did, he did.
You cunning hunter, you
That's
man.
it.
The accuser of our
I
brother.
was thinking about that,
Boom,
man.
that's it.
Then he makes you a monster.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, brother. He
No,
makes you
right.
a monster, man.
How you do that, though?
Hey, through that black culture.
That's it.
He engineers niggas.
That's it.
Like Esau have you thinking that Kodak Black is like the normal black man.
That's
Right,
it.
right.
You know, Kodak Black, NBA young boy.
Right.
He's engineering them niggas so you can be them niggas so he can ensnare you into his prison industrial complex.
That's it.
Yep.
And ultimately to justify martial law. He just dumping guns off in the hood, man.
Right, yeah.
That's about all type of fully automatic Afghanistan shit.
Free of charge.
Free of charge, man. All right, go ahead. But so he can hunt you.
So he can hurt you.
John 10:10, the thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly.
Yep. Hey, like my dog, right? When it's time for her to go to her little room, right? She knows that when I'm running, like walking towards her, it's time for her to go shut it down. So what does she do? She runs from me.
Right.
So I have to hunt. I gotta start thinking of ways to outsmart her. So I trick her to think we finna go walking. So she see me grab the leash, and I walk to the door. Then she start walking towards me and shit. I gotta trick her to catch her, man.
Yeah.
Esau tricks your ass and snare you. Yeah, come as you are. You know? EBT,
Yeah.
basically welfare,
Subsidizing houses.
houses,
Yeah.
you know, Habitat for Humanity,
Yeah.
all type of incentives to keep the strong man out of the house.
That's it.
But look what he did. Look at your race.
Yeah.
Every city where the 12 tribes inhabit is uninhabitable.
And we the only nation that's like that.
Only nation is like that, man.
Yeah.
You got Elam. You go ahead, bro.
Oh, go ahead. Bring it out. Bring it
No,
out.
you got Elam. They got Elamite stores. These Indian stores with all type of healthy shit. You got Moab with Moabite grocery stores with all type of imported healthy shit. Bamboo, live fish. You know.
Yeah.
But where's our health store?
And you got Master P chips.
Master Pink chips.
Snack,
Rap
snack
snacks.
rails.
Yeah. Now later.
Heated treats.
Then a nigga capitalize off you niggas.
That's it, man.
Sell the cigarettes by the square.
Yeah.
Sell the condoms by the square. You know?
About a single.
By the single. Yes, lock. By the single, man.
Yeah, let's go.
This nigga, your environment is a snare.
Shake, man.
That's all I got, bro.
All right.
Shit. Catch 22. Yep.
All right. Real quick, this is Amos chapter 1 and verse 11. Thus saith Yahweh Shem Yahushai, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword and did cast off all pity.
Right, and that's the profile of Esau. Hey, at the end of the day, like the brother has said, as soon as Jacob had, Salaki, Isaac had passed, he has been in go mode, right? Going back to Psalms the 83rd chapter, right? Because at the end of the day, they want to eradicate the nation of Israel off the face of the earth because it's all about their birthright, man.
And for you simpletons, it wasn't just between 2 people.
That's right.
I've had talks to people like that, like it was just them 2.
No.
It started with them 2,
Yeah.
and it manifested into their seeds.
Yeah.
All right?
Nation of people.
Nation of people,
That's
man.
right. That's right, bro.
You know, I just want to say that,
No,
man.
you're right, though.
Yeah, that's why Esau, he doing so many things at one time. This damn devil, by way of CERN, and he has other things he's doing too. But either he wants to like open a portal in an attempt to destroy the spirit world. Hey, y'all stupid, man. You know, you either want to try to you crazy as hell, think you're gonna do something like that, or you want to go back in time to get the birthright and the blessing back, or they want to destroy the earth and like make a new one.
That wasn't part of the negotiations that the Mosai gave you. Mosai told you to dig into the deeps, to the depths of hell.
Yeah.
He told you to bring her the number of the stars. He told you to count the sands of the sea. He's doing all the things that are counterproductive in order to do everything possible to regain that birthright.
You don't try to build something without the instructions.
Man, horrible idea.
Your wife telling you just to read the instructions, man. You try to do your own shit. That's Esau, man. You know?
Yeah.
And his Edomite told me he bought one of them $3,000 workout machines with the screen on it and stuff. You know, the stuff they show on TV. So the first step was on the first page. He skipped the first page, and that was how to route the power cord up through the channel. So he got the whole thing assembled, ready to go. What the hell you plug this thing up at? He missed the very first step on the first page because the page was stuck together, right? So had to disassemble the entire unit, right? And then in the process of disassembling, damaged the unit. So put it back together in the correct way, but it was already damaged, so now it's unusable. So now you gotta return it back to the factory. But that's what happens. That's the cause of not following instructions.
Yup.
Shit.
And Esau can't follow instructions.
Nope.
What's the instructions? The law, statutes, and commandments.
You can't get right.
He can't do it.
You're right. You can't get right. You know?
Okay, it's-
No, you got it, bro.
no, it says, and did cast off all pity,
Right.
and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
Right. And how do you know that? Hey, look at this time frame right now. Look how these so-called Edomite cops, it's like these so-called white people, police officers, gun down, taking the world, man.
Yeah.
You know, so this man basically, beginning with the nobility, they want that birthright. Everything they do is inspired by getting that birthright, right?
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 50, starting at verse 16. But unto the wicked, the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou should takest my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction and casting my word behind thee? And pretty much I brought it out, man, because Esau, they pretend to be these righteous people, man. They pretend and act like they love the Lord when they don't know the Lord at all, man. You know, but they trick our people coming to these churches, you know what I'm saying, taking these 501c3 charters, doing all they bidding, going completely against the Lord, man. But our people believe that these Edomites are actually people that the Lord deal with, man. Because they always, and brothers brought it out on multiple occasions when only people they ask about being saved is why Esau can't be saved. They don't ask about Moab, Ishmael, you know, nobody else, man.
It's a thing.
I know when I first heard it, I thought about that too. What about the white man?
Fuck that.
And we were in the sucker place.
Yeah, man, I was fucked up. I want that precept back, so I got to count for it. Who yours are?
Job 9:24.
That's right.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Hey, if you think about it, all of us pretty much are raised around so-called black women, right? Really, the main problem they really have with us is that Esau can't make it.
Yeah.
If you talk to a Christian, especially a woman, especially just a Christian, that core issue they have is that we believe only we're the chosen. That's really the only problem they have. Because that's that magic of Christianity.
Man, you talk to a Judite woman, or Issacharite woman, or Ephraimite, they will raise hell with you about these crackers not making it, man.
And it's deep. What is it? You got to be a millionaire for a black woman to respect you.
Yeah.
But when she get on the phone with a so-called white man, she puts on her best Christian voice, man. You can't make E respect you.
Right.
But what is that's that magic, man?
What proves that? Ask Will Smith.
Yep. And he rich and he didn't get respected. Hey, don't let the occultic stuff fool you. Satanism is lit. Satanism is lit. The woman can do what she will. You know, she can have so many sexual partners that she wants. You know?
Yeah, that's why I like this. The new thing, you so-called black woman, when it came out, a so-called black woman herself said this. Basically, like the new thing now, most of you black bitches are witches, man. And she said, like, you men better watch who y'all linking up with. And she was like, a lot of these women y'all linking up with, they be in these covens, and they'll take your damn picture, and they'll put a spell on your ass. And she was serious. That shit happening, bro.
Yeah, because they find out they'll go through your phone, find out you got some more chick. And they'll come together as a unit, put a curse on you, put a spell on you. You know?
Wonder why you attached to this like demon, like
pussy whip you crazy. You gotta
can't be eating at these different bitches' houses either, man.
And then spaghetti.
Yes, especially not that shit.
God damn.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 50, starting verse 16. But unto the wicked, the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instructions?
Instructions are coming from what? The laws, statutes, and the commandments. Go ahead, bro.
And cast my words behind thee.
Meaning what? You don't follow it. All right, you still do what you want to do. You lean to the left and right. That's how Esau gets down. Go ahead, bro.
When thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him.
Right, now let's see how Esau throws the law, statutes, and the commandments behind his back. Matthew 14 and 1.
Okay, the gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 14, beginning at verse 1. And it reads, at that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard of the fame of Yahushua and said unto his servants, this is John the
Now,
Baptist.
Herod was a Edomite. Don't get it twisted. Go ahead.
Right, the damn terror.
A terror.
He is risen from the dead,
Right.
and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him.
Go ahead.
And that's proof like pretty much everybody back then knew about reincarnation.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You know, or the resurrection. For Herod had laid hold on John and bound him and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife.
Right.
For John said unto him, it is not lawful for thee to have her.
What was going on? They were committing adultery.
Yep.
And John brought that point out based on the concept of the law. And what did he do? He got mad, and based on the wishes of that woman, she wanted what? John the Baptist's head on a charge.
And she was a so-called black woman.
And she was a Levite.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Easy E.
Too rough to the mama. She was doing the bit of her mama.
Yeah.
She was more
Yeah.
wicked than she was.
Yep.
She was
You can't make it up.
yeah.
Bro.
With the daughter told the mother.
Yeah, as the daughter told his mother.
Yeah.
And what the Eve mother be telling now? Get you a man with some money, girl.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
do this and do that.
Test the water.
Yeah, test
Put
the
them on
water.
child support. Test the water.
Be a whole basically.
Yeah.
That says, and when he would have put him to death, he feared the multitude because they counted him as a prophet. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod.
So what happened? He got infatuated with those dances. Go ahead.
Whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask, and she, being before instructed of her mother, and said, give me here John Baptist's head in a charger,
Right.
basically on a platter.
Right.
And the king was sorry, nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and then was set
That
with
shows you how men was bound to their word too.
yeah.
Go ahead, bro. He knew it was wrong, but he did give his word. Continue.
And them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it to be given her. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison.
Right, on behalf of that woman, but the reason why that came to be is because John got on them for committing the act of adultery, which is a law, which is a sin worthy of death.
But the spirit is within these Edomites to do this, man. Well, you got these swinger parties.
Yep.
Yep. And hey, well, your brothers, somebody gets the rock. Is it 10? Because as the judge of the people is, because you elite are a bunch of damn freaks, man.
Got it.
You got to
Yep.
get it. Yeah, come on.
Sirach 10 and 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
Right, because the elite of Edom, hey, watch that movie Eyes Wide Shut, man. With Tom Cruise and who was Nicole Kidman, and they show you what goes down, man. These different elite dinner parties, man.
Dude died behind me.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, Stanley Kubrick, which he also made the movie Shining. He made was Clockwork Orange. Like he made a lot of different movies revolving around NWO, man, and what goes on in that inner circle, man. All right, but the point is, you will lead out a bunch of goddamn freaks, man, and that's why the average person is like that, man. And the average Edomite, man, please, especially like when you go to like certain places within these inner cities where we can't go, man, these Edomites, they be getting down. Y'all on some Wolf of Wall Street shit, man.
Well, you know what? It trickled down to Jake.
Yeah.
They got these parties in Chicago, word of mouth. They have these parties, it's like a big mansion or a house.
Yeah.
It's like a freak party. And you can ask permission to get somebody else's woman, like y'all, everybody's sharing everybody, man.
And Jay known in Chicago for them house parties too.
Yep.
But it shows, man, this society is on its way out, man, because freakism is at an all-time high level, man.
Yep.
But going back to, what the Supreme was saying earlier, the main entity, or one of the main entities that y'all worship is Baphomet, man.
Yep.
That androgynous spirit. That's why that energy is being spread worldwide, man. The different actors and actresses, they believe in it. Your R&B singers, your rappers, they believe in it. You had the elder brother Micaiah Corn from London years ago. He did a video on Jay-Z. Basically, Jay-Z, he was pretty much positioning himself in the same form of a Baphomet, man. The way he had his legs crossed,
Yep.
and there was an image. I want to say either like right across from him or behind him. It was behind him.
Yep.
It was behind him, and what they call this is like black and white.
Yeah.
But like it's like dealing with psychology, you know those
Yeah.
blotches.
Yep.
You gotta like figure out what it was. Plain as day, it was Baffy though, man.
But you know what? Hey, and that painting, that little image was done by Andy Warhol.
Oh wow,
Yeah, that
wow,
nigga.
wow.
The image that Jay-Z, because like you said, he was positioning himself like Buffy. But that painting was done by Andy Warhol.
Can't make it up.
He was homo.
Yep. A homo Satanist, man. And that's the average Edomite. You know? And see, that's the reason why we're being threatened. We're going to get scripted. Somebody get Second Thessalonians 2. You know, whatever else brothers got. Isaiah 13. That's why people are so upset with us. Because of the message, man. Y'all you got touch one. 2 and 3. Goes down.
This Second Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means.
And 2/3 have been deceived, man. But by the God of this world, man. You know, like the elder brothers been going into, man, by way of the media, you know, the propaganda machine, you know. So you're pretty much, man, you Jace, you MOTB ready, man.
Yeah,
You know?
the philosophy comes before the token.
Yep.
You know, if somebody got your mind, then there's nothing to play with you.
It's already over with, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've already spiritually been popped, you know. Now it's got to be physically inserted in you, man. You know, and it's so much proof. And I gotta do a video because Spirit cursed me out, man. But they even show you on that old Wonder Woman show. I think it aired like in the 70s during women's lib. And that whole independence is a fucking joke, man. They showed you on Wonder Woman. Basically, it was an episode where this one guy was one scientist. Well, it was somebody above him. He was implanting the MOTB and different NFL players to bid against that team, man. But you know, he put that MOTB in them to control their minds, man. You know, so hey, this has been on the way for a long time. You know.
Yeah, Esau Edom is not impulsive. He's
Yep.
calculating.
He's very calculated.
He's 20 steps ahead, man. You know.
They've been showing this shit for years, man. You know, you got it, brother. Okay.
This Second Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for the day shall not come except there come a falling away first.
A falling away of Israel, you know, and also you think about just all out rebellion, man. You know, like now, see the earth is at the point of rebellion. It's never been there before, man. And now that's how we know our God is about to act, man. Now it's completely too much, man. You got little boys and little girls without it shouldn't be lawful anyway, but they got permission to get a gender change, you know, bro. Ain't no way the Lord about to let this shit continue, man. You got it, brother. You got something? Okay. Get what you got, bro.
All right, come on. This is Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 13. Thus with your mouth you have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them.
Carl, speak that again.
This is Ezekiel 35 and 13. Thus with your mouth you have boasted against me.
And he's speaking about Edom. Edom. Mount Seir, man. Mount Seir. And we ain't like IUIC, man. Because we gonna get on them. We gonna get on you, man. He's speaking about Mount Seir specifically. The Edomites, man. All right? It's with their mouth. You know, the legislation, the democracy, the laws they pass. All right? He talking about them, man. Hey, the Lord named names in the Bible, bro. You got it, brother.
Finishing it off. And it says, and have multiplied your words against me, I have heard them.
Right? It came before the throne, man. Now it's too much. All right? And now you about to pay, man. Okay, go back to that, bro.
I said, that man, let me start back over.
Okay.
And this Second Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day should not come except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin shall be revealed, the son of perdition.
The devil, basically. You know, in his spirit, man, because, you know, the points of how I was going into it earlier, it's their nature. See, you can't fight your nature, man. And if you do, the Lord is gonna snap you back into like, what the fuck was I thinking, man? And you're gonna do what you was made to do. Like that's how it go, man. They showed you in Matrix Reloaded. You know, you had the so-called black woman, the Oracle, but it's spiritual, you know, because wisdom is like unto a woman, and she was like, everything got a program, man. You know, like, and that's including you Edomites. See, you're programmed to be the wicked, man. And you can't fight it, because the scriptures say if you do good, you really do it unwillingly. Like, I didn't mean to do that shit, you know, like, see, and they gonna show you, Jakes, who they are too. And you wait and see, man. They gonna wild out, you know. But they call the son of perdition or son of destruction. Who they go back to? Esau. Well, excuse me. But was not Eve's blessing the sword? You know, and you know, brother went into it. He was a cunning hunter. All right, but their blessing being a sword, basically they weaponize everything, man. This man has weaponized the air. He weaponized our food. He weaponized our women. Like, he can make everything a weapon. Letting you know, like, this them in the Bible. All right,
He weaponized us against each other.
us against each other, man. Cause see now, they don't need taskmasters or the slave masters murdering Jake. Jake, you programmed to do it to yourself, man. You got the billboards, you know, about, you know, if Black Lives Matter, why we killing each other still? Yep. You know, the devil is controlling you, Jakes, man. Ultimately, it's the Most High, and it goes back to the curses. But it says how you give drink to your neighbor, and you pretty much fall back like, I ain't do nothing, you know?
Like the clan retired.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
Niggas took over.
Yeah.
You know, clan, you know,
Yeah.
Florida some goddamn way, man.
Yeah. It's a goddamn shame, man. Like, for example, I you know, because I got a hat by the brother, the hat from Las Vegas, but the hat red and black, it got VL on it for Las Vegas, but I can't go in a certain neighborhood because the nigga think it stand for Vice Lord or something, man. And it's red and black, so a nigga wanna kill me for wearing a hat that a brother gave me. See, you niggas gonna fucking die, man. Let's just stop, bro. I'm not, bro. Hey, we finished up. You want it?
This is Jeremiah 50:21. Go up against the land of Marathon, even against, it said, even against it.
That's a code name for Babylon.
Yep. It says, even against it and against the inhabitants of Pekah, waste and utterly destroy after them, said the Lord, and do according to all that I have commanded thee. And I brought that out, you know, just going to that word marathon, which in the Hebrew is marathon, which means double rebellion.
Right,
You know how
right.
you were saying earlier, how the earth is in the great rebellion against Yahweh Shema Shai. He called this Babylon a double rebellion. You know?
Yep, Babylon the Great.
I had a precept on top of that. All right, Genesis 6 and
Okay.
Genesis 6 and 5. And Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth.
Right,
and
this is the antediluvian age, you know, before the flood.
and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented Yahweh that he had made man on the earth,
Repenting means grieved. Go ahead.
and it grieved him at his heart. And Yahweh said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them.
And basically, that was a great reset, or what they're calling an extinction level event. You know, where the Lord will bring mass death, man. So that was the what's called the first death,
Let's go ahead, bro.
and that is which is by way of water. And now it's going to happen again, but this time it's going to be by way of fire, because now, like brother said, now it's more rebellion.
Yeah, we teach, man. We just gonna keep it.
I got you.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, the people. I got you.
I got a precept.
Oh, yeah, the brother Lamaho, you got you. I got you.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, starting verse 10. Say ye to the righteous that it shall be well with him, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. Verse 11.
Right, that's the elect. Go ahead.
Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given him.
Right, and that they can apply to 2/3 of our own people, but going into the wicked specifically, you know? You got it, bro.
in 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse 8. Woe be unto thee, Assur, thou that
Right,
hidest-
Assur, that's the Assyrians. In America, is modern day Assyria or Nineveh. You got it.
It says, woe be unto thee, Assur, thou that hidest the unrighteous in thee.
Hide is meaning protect. All right, and the unrighteous, that's the alphabet community, along with with these other sinners, man. Go ahead.
O thou wicked people, remember what I did unto Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right. Yep. So the same thing gonna happen here, man. Can somebody get that in Luke 17? Where the Lord mentions, Noah and also Sodom. You got it.
Verse 9, whose land lieth in clods of pitch and heaps of ashes, even so also will I do unto them that hear me not, said the Almighty Lord.
And it's spiritual because the beloved Apostle Hart, he had brought out how Ophir, which are the Americas, it means reduced to ashes. So the same thing gonna happen here, man. And it's spiritual, we got that name. But Sodom itself, when you look it up, Sodom means burning. The way people burn in wicked lust toward each other. But then because of that, like the actual judgment was fire. Fire and brimstone, man.
Yeah, brother brought it out beautifully. Really, Sodom and Gomorrah, on top of that, got stoned to death.
Yeah.
Like, and that fire and brimstone, that was Yahweh stoning it.
Stoned it, yeah.
Like America's about to get stoned with missiles, man. I forgot the brother that brought it out, but that was beautiful.
You know they liken the missiles to hell. Hell is on the stone.
Wow.
It showed us, yeah.
Definitely.
It's getting stoned because ancient world judgment is what? Getting stoned,
Stoned,
man.
yeah.
So both sides can stone the whole country, man. Fire and brimstone.
You look brimstone, you look it up, it also goes into the sulfur.
Yep.
We're dealing with the technology of those missiles, man.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
It's Luke.
And this is Revelation 16 and 19. And the great city was divided into 3 parts. And the cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before the Most High to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath.
Right. That judgment, them nuclear missiles.
Right? 20. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. Verse 21.
Right, because when brother Priest Shimon from the main camp brought it out, basically the earth is going to terraform. Like these nuclear missiles going to change. It's going to change the earth pretty much, man.
Right.
Hey, I want to show you that this is what's that, second judgment? The sword of second Peter's?
Yeah.
The second death.
The second death, yeah.
The second death, because the first earth terraformed.
Yeah.
You have to call Pangea.
That's right.
All lands.
Right, yep.
All right, but then the flood came in and broke the earth down to 7 continents.
Yep.
All right, but now it's going to happen again, man.
Again.
Right.
Man, wow.
And the 3 parts is symbolic for also Esau, Edom.
Yep, the third part of man.
That's
right,
right.
that's right,
That's
that's
right,
right.
bro.
Yep.
Verse 21. And there fell on men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent.
That's them warheads.
That's it. That stone you talking about?
Yep.
Elders?
Hey, that's heavy, man. Because that's Yahweh judging the nation.
Yeah.
Yahweh judging the nation, that's him stoning you, man.
Yeah. Because but in the second Ezra, it's also called a horrible star.
Yep,
And you get these, because a lot of these devils, like you watch the History Channel, they know what's coming, but they'll speak about like a great meteorite. But nah, man, it's them missiles, man.
I know you got some. If y'all having battle at nighttime, right? If the opposition shoot an arrow or fire on it, it looks like a falling star.
Like a star, yeah.
You got the arrow that's in flame. You can shoot it at nighttime. It looks like a falling star, man.
It
That's the
burns once it makes contact.
Yep.
And men blaspheme the Most High. And these men are talking about these Edomites,
Right.
spread, beyond America, outside of America. And men blaspheme the Most High because of the plague of the hail. For the plague thereof was exceeding great. And
Man.
plague means judgment.
That's right.
Overachieving.
I got to push that.
Man, it's
Somebody
hell.
else.
You got it, bro.
This is Isaiah 13 and 19.
Yep.
In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency.
Yeah, because it's also called the mistress of witchcrafts. What's going into Nineveh, but that's this place here, man. Because it mastered what you call the mother of harlots.
Right.
And mother, they go into the source. You know, like so, cause Esau Edom, by way of his technology and basically he's able to tap into all the history of old. They mastered that ancient witchcraft. You know?
Archaeologists.
Yeah, archaeologists.
You always
Yep.
go to Aleister Crowley. You know, he perfected that, man.
Yep.
I can add,
Yep.
me and the brother Lamar looked it up last week. Aleister Crowley went to Egypt like in 1903, 1904. And that's around the time when you had the first car. Airplane was created.
1911 was the Wright brothers.
Yeah.
It's the same time.
Yeah,
That's
so
what we
he
sped up.
went over there in 1903.
Wow.
That's the spirit. I just watched the video of him like yesterday. Yesterday, day before yesterday.
And it says,
Wow.
the beauty of the Chaldeans actually shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Well, because he got that nation got stoned just like Sodom and Gomorrah, man. That's a divine judgment.
That's right, bro.
You got it, brother.
And it says, verse 20, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold
That's
there.
how you know it's talking about America. I said it should never be inhabited. Well, Sodom was never inhabited again. But it says Sodom was an example. Now you look at the word example or example, it goes back to the word simple. So what happened to Sodom was a sample of what's about to happen to America. Then it said, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. Well, all throughout America, what do you have? So-called Arabs pitching tent in America.
That's right.
Because they're merchants. They have these corner stores, these liquor stores, these gas stations. That's the Arabian pitching tent, man. All right? You got it. Oh, and it says it's going to be habited. It says it's going to be habited by creatures.
I said, it won't be inhabited.
It won't be
But
inhabited.
the next one going to, I
Okay,
really
come.
want to go into what you said. Verse 21, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures.
That's that post-destruction habitation. Where there's owls, Komodo dragons, you know, roaches. Right,
Yeah, basically.
yep.
It says, an owl shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there.
Yep. Satire.
Satires.
Basically, animals dwelling. You know, it's a desert.
Yep.
Desert goes back to deserted. So when there's a desert, it's deserted. It's a wilderness. It's a wilderness.
Most High, he places everything in its proper habitation. The children of Israel are properly in the land of their captivity. The amphibians are properly underneath the water swimming around. The mammals are properly in their habitat on earth, walking, breathing air. The fowls in the air are in their natural habitat in the heavens up above. So you can seek that particular habitat for the burning of this land and it being given over into these desert-like creatures. That's going to be their new habitation. Everything has this particular order and array of things.
Yeah. And you know what this, bro? What it's called, bro? Reality. That's dealing with reality, man. You know? Oh, so, like, yeah. It's not 26.
And it's Luke 17:26. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it also be also in this day of the Son of Man.
Yeah, and you notice, like when you read here, you notice the point he was reading earlier, but also like you read in 2 Peter, and also in the book of Jude, pretty much it keeps mentioning that. You know, what happened during the time of the flood, and then it goes to what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah and those other cities, man.
You had that movie Mother.
Yep.
The movie Mother. Remember that? You know, when it was just Cain and Abel and Adam in the first family, it was a peaceful house. But at the end of it was just chaotic.
Yep.
You know? It's always,
And basically he burnt the woman. Like he pretty much like burnt the house
Yep.
to make a new house.
Yep.
You know?
Verse 27. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, and they were given into marriage until the day Noah entered into the ark.
So life will go on as normal. Even when the MOTB is implemented, there's going to be a sense of normalcy because there's really like going to be like the new salvation, man. Like it's going to be the solution, you know, to what, bro?
As in the days of Noah.
Yep.
yeah, I mean, you're gonna have weddings, you're gonna have gatherings. All right, there's still gonna be social things going on. You know? Scripture said when they should say peace and safety, sudden destruction should come upon them. You know? You got it, brother.
And it shows you too that a lot of people will take that spoken of in Revelation 13 chapter.
Yep.
Yep.
Because this system still is going to be going. You know?
Yeah. And well, you saw that with the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, you saw how people were anxious to go back to Rome. You know,
the normalcy back.
yeah, that was a foreshadow.
You got it.
And the flood came and destroyed them all. Verse 28. Likewise, also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, and they built.
Yeah, and then when you go back to that account, when Lot had told his sons-in-law that the Lord was going to destroy that place, man, they laughed at him. Like it said how he was as one that mocked, so they didn't take him serious, man. But the same thing is happening now. Like people not taking us serious. The proof is, besides those watching behind the camera, who's listening, man?
Hey, well,
You know?
hey, Mike Epps.
Oh,
He did the mockery.
So did.
Showing you that it's the days of Noah, man.
Ricky Harris.
Yep.
The Lord killed him.
Yep. You know?
They say they building, and there's a lot of building going on. It's all the line of work I do. It's a lot of building right now. They're crazy, man.
Crazy. They shall build, but I shall tear down.
Well, missiles got to hit something, right?
You got to. If ain't gonna be no fun unless the missile have something. Right. That's right.
And verse 29. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained.
Yeah, bro.
Then look 17 and 29. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone.
Yep.
Hey, it's gonna be the same thing today.
Yep.
As soon as the elect deliver, it's gonna rain missiles. When the elect are delivered from the surface of America, missiles gonna be coming down. Just like soon as Most High closed the door on the ark with Noah, rain came down. And then the brother from Birmingham always go into like when you see the rain hit the ground and make that little bush fly out, and shower things to come. You gotta go.
Brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all.
Yep. So it's a repeat, But see, this time, this destruction is going to eclipse the flood, eclipse the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, eclipse what the Lord did to the Egyptians. Any type of destruction that the Lord did on the earth, man, this is going to far surpass it, man. Along with the salvation to come too, because it mentioned the destruction, but also when you go into it, there was basically always a remnant. There was always survivors after the Lord did something, man. Always. You had Noah and his sons, Noah, his wife, his sons and their wives. You had Lot and his two daughters. But at this present time, there's another election. You got it, bro.
This is John 12 and 28. Father, glorify thy name. Then came there a voice from heaven saying, I have both glorified it and will glorify it again.
Right, and he did that several times, man. Because he's a God of war. And every time he brought a major destruction, he got himself a name, man. Especially when he brought us out of Egypt. All those different Canaanite nations, they all knew about it. And great fear was on them based off what our power did. So he's gonna do the same thing again this time. But see, this time it's gonna be far greater than what he did to Egypt, man. And don't let them fool you either, because that actually happened, man. But that's something else. The brother get Isaiah 11 as well. 11 and 11.
And while he getting that, I bring this up.
You got it, bro.
Romans 9 and 17. For the scripture said unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth.
Right, so you Edomites, whether you want to be it or not, you the modern day Pharaoh, man.
Yep.
And the only reason why you're in this high state is so the Lord can show his power through you, man. By giving you all this just to, take it all away, bring you down, man. You got it.
This is Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 7. Therefore, behold, the days come, said the Lord Yahweh by Shem Shah, that they shall say no more that the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries whither I had driven them.
So this will be that modern day Egypt. This the new Egypt. So there's going to be a new Exodus, man. And the word Exodus means exit, leave,
Out of the way.
out of the way. And that's what's going to take place very soon, man.
They got an exit sign.
You know? And by way of divine intervention, we're not going to leave on our own accord. You know, our hope is that we're going to leave by the chariots, you know? You got it, bro.
And it says, but the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country and from all countries whither I had driven them.
Which is spiritual, because when he brought us out of the land of Egypt, he led us out by one gigantic ship. But this time, he gonna, you know, beam Israelites up, you know, worldwide. And we may go up into one big gigantic ship. However the Lord has to take place, you know. But you know, with this right here, it's gonna be worldwide and everybody gonna see it, man. You know, got it.
And they shall dwell in their own land.
Yeah, and you Jakes better wake up to the fact that you don't own America. You know what I mean? You've been here for a long time, and you feel like because of your hard labor and the labor of your ancestors that you know, deserve a piece of the pie. But hey, this place is left for dead, man. The Lord, he promised you something greater, you know?
Yeah, and the power wasn't cooked for you, man. The power was cooked for Edomites and their joint heirs. America means bitter. Marah.
Yep.
So we came here based on what? To finish our captivity.
A bitter captivity.
Bitter captivity.
Which reminds you of Egypt, you know? Hey, that bitterness, man. But my guy, Isaiah 11. Yep.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 11, verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
And this is how he gonna glorify his name again. See? All right, but see, this time it says recover the remnant of his people. Now see, when we came out of Egypt, all Israel came out, man. But it's not gonna happen this go around. Only the elect don't be delivered. That's why our hope is to stay this thing to the end, man.
But you know what's so crazy though? Although they were delivered, but they still stayed in the wilderness.
They died in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Yep.
So who went to the promised land? It was the elect.
Yeah, because it was Joshua and Caleb and the sons and daughters of them. You know? You got it.
Which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt.
These are all the lands we were scattered at. And, you know, brother Priest and Yash just read how all the lands we were driven. You see that? You know, you got it.
And from Petros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea.
Right, yeah, because it's called a diaspora. There's a global slave trade. We weren't just shipped to America. We were shipped to North, Central, South America. All right, but we were also shipped to the Middle East, parts of Africa, India, Asia.
Right, man.
It was a global. That's why you have to call the Dutch Trading Company. You know, we're dispersed by way of prophecy, man.
That's right.
Now, but man, even when Shalom and Nestle took the northern kingdom, he took them to allow them to them exact location.
Yeah.
We took them out of Samaria and exiled them.
Yep.
So like they was already Israelites in them buildings.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Just to add to the point.
That's right. That's right, man.
You got Gadites look like Arabs over there. Gadites look like, you know, Iranians.
Yeah.
They'll be straight Gad.
Yeah. You even see certain Ephraimites, they got confused, you know?
They do. Yeah, because a lot of times, really, I'm just gonna say this right quick. Anybody, like a lot of times, Northern Kingdom grow their hair long, you think they're a Gadite. You know, so-called Mexican might grow his hair long, you think he's a Gadite, man. You know?
I was watching on Top Boy. They had a character from Morocco. Act just like Jake.
Yep.
Act just like Jake.
Yep.
So we were scattered throughout the four corners of the world.
Morocco goes back for more.
Sure do.
Yep. Mauritania, Morocco.
Yeah, I was reading this one book how it says how the Jews were scattered as far as Gibraltar. Gibraltar.
Yeah.
It's basically like southern Spain, man.
Yep.
But that's where the Moors dwelt in.
Yeah,
you know?
Spain, Portugal, that was our haven. All right, before the slave trade, man.
Yeah.
It's one of our main havens, man. You know?
There's some hidden history, man.
Did Esau conquer Gibraltar? Did you go into that?
Yeah.
When he left the Ottoman Empire?
Yep. You had the Ottoman Empire fell in 1453.
Yeah.
And then Grenada, which was the last stronghold of the Moors, fell in 1492. You know, to Queen Elizabeth and
King Ferdinand.
King Ferdinand. You know, that's pretty much Grenada And the Ottoman Empire, they're pretty much funded, you know, Esau's conquest, you know, across this new land, man.
That's right.
Back in Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12. And he shall set up as a sign
An ensign,
for the nations.
which is basically a standard, you know, and the standard is the elect being gathered by this word, man. You got it.
And shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the
What
earth.
the brother basically just read, you know. You want to add something to it?
No, you can't.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, that's like,
Yeah, yeah, no,
and
yeah.
that's why in Revelation 7 it said that multitude, you know, because they spoke in different languages,
That's it, brother.
and that's what it is from different countries.
Yeah.
The Lord scattered them, but they all speak different languages. You know what I'm saying?
I got a quick scripture. Matthew 24:31. He shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
Send us a corn reading this because somebody about to shot get Deuteronomy 30. You know, it's showing you the same things in the Old Testament, man. When Yahweh Shah saying right here, it's written in the second book of the law, man. Deuteronomy 30, you start at 1. You know,
And it's Deuteronomy 30 and 1.
just read down to verse 4.
And it shall come to pass, and all these things are come upon thee, the blessings and the curses, which I set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whether the Most High thy power has driven thee. Verse 2, that shall return to the Most High thy power, that shall obey his voice, according to all that command thee this day, thou and thou, thy children, with all thy heart, with all thy soul. Verse 3. And that then the Most High thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon them, and will return and gather thee all the nations, whether the Most High Lord thy power has scattered thee. Verse 4. And of thy be driven out unto the outermost parts of the heaven.
Yep.
From thence, with the Most High thy power, gather thee. From thence will he fetch thee.
Came back up.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just lost that. Matthew 24:31.
Yep.
All right.
I know what you made.
Okay, come.
All right. Matthew 24:31, it says, he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
Right, so and that's the explanation on it, man. You know? Hey, you got it, bro.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 8. Remember, I beseech thee, the word that thou commandest thy servant Moses, saying, if ye transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. But if you turn unto me and keep my commandments and do them, though there were of you cast out unto the uttermost part of heaven, yet will I gather them from thence and will bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name there.
Right, and it's spiritual because there was always a returning that took forth, man, or took place, excuse me. You know, because that was during the rebuilding of the second temple, man. Well, now we're living during the building of the third temple. You know, so we about to return. You know. Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And this is Ezekiel 11:16. Therefore say,
Yep.
thus saith the Lord power, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come.
Right, and that's basically what these camps are, man. They're like sanctuary cities.
Yeah.
You know, it's safe havens, man, because the name of the Lord is there, man.
Right.
The Lord got altars all throughout Egypt, you know, America, man, and that's these different Israelite camps that teach the whole truth, man.
Verse 17. Therefore say, thus saith the Lord power, I will even gather you from the people and assemble you out of the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel.
Right, and that's when the Lord is pretty much saying to himself, he's pleased. He's pleased with us, man. That's when he's gonna gather us, man. You know? Yes.
All right. Isaiah 19:19 said the word altar. In that day shall there be an altar to the house. Right, Isaiah 19:18, come. And that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan.
Right, that's a cut on, and we ain't here to cut people nothing. We're just saying, hey, we got our language back. Well, why is this written, man? You know? Read it again, Mama Show.
All right, Isaiah 19 to 18. And that day shall 5 cities in the land of, and that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan.
Right. He represents those 5 cities, these different Israelite groups that speak in the ancient Hebrew, calling on the name of the Lord, you know, and his son, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Because what's the language of Canaan? The Hebrew. You know, some people call it the Phoenician, but it's the Paleo Hebrew. You got it.
And swear unto Yahweh of hosts.
And you do that when you come into the truth. You know, you make an oath. You're going to serve the Lord as long as you live, man. You got it.
One should be called the city of destruction.
Right, and we saying about Babylon the Great, that this place gonna be destroyed, man. You got it.
In that day shall there be an altar to Yahweh in the midst of the land of Egypt.
And the altar is used for sacrifice. And so you see us up here, you know, we got the stick, the 12 tribe sign pursuant to Ezekiel 37, and we're offering up spiritual sacrifices and to present our body as living sacrifice on this altar out here. You got it.
And a pillar at the border thereof to Yahweh.
Right, and the pillar is a monument, man, and that's what these different camps are, and it shows, hey, the Lord, He not gonna forget about us, man. You know? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second Samuel, chapter 7, verse 10. It's future prophecy. It says, moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them that they may dwell in the place of their own and move no more.
And it was prophecy because at that time we was in the land. So what was he talking about?
Yeah, we had silence.
And we had silence. Yep. So it'll be in this time.
Yep.
You know, hey, you Jakes, you don't own these streets, man. You know,
Why would you want to own cement?
Yeah.
You know? And we're going to have streets paved with gold.
that's right, bro.
Hey, the most size of man is, come on, man.
Yep. That's right, man.
These streets.
And it says that they may dwell in the place of their own and move no more, neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them anymore as before time.
Now who is that talking about? Edom, specifically. You know, because this has been the main nation troubling us really since the beginning, man. You know,
Going back to Cain.
going back to Cain. You know, messing with us, man. And you know, and brother, he always goes to how they should wear us out, and it means to harass constantly, man. You know, but okay, go ahead.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 39, starting at verse 25. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of power, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous for my holy name.
We'll say have mercy upon the whole house of Israel. Ultimately, that's what's going to happen. Because, you know, 2/3 in America, the rebels going to die, but they're going to come back in the kingdom through the elect by way of the new covenant. You know, so he's still having mercy on the whole house of Israel. I think you have made a point. See, what's going to happen is, if you an Israelite, it's one of two things. Either you going to make it or you're going to die. You're going to come back. But if you a heathen, either you're going to die and come back in slavery, or you're just going to die or go right into slavery. Like, it ain't no in-betweens, man. Or gray areas, you know? You got it, bro.
Verse 26. After that they have borne their shame, and all their trespasses whereby they have trespassed against me,
And we fulfilling this now. Go ahead.
when they dwelt safely in their land, and none made them afraid. When I have brought them again from the people, and gathered them out of their enemies' land, and am sacrificed in them in the sight of many nations.
Sanctified. What's that?
Sanctified.
Yeah, it's sanctified, so he's being made holy. And then you got to think about it, you know, because we think about it, man. You got all these brothers all over the earth calling on the name Yahweh Shem Yahushua. The Lord about to do some stuff, man.
That's power.
That's power. He gonna save us. If you think about it, you got camps that go out on the same day. Then you got brothers, you know, certain camps all go out on Friday, or all go out on Saturday, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday. But just the point, just that vibration of Yahweh Shem Yahushua going out like that. Hey, the Lord, He's being sanctified in the eyes of the nations, man.
It's a nice offering, too.
Yep.
fat offering.
That's right, bro.
You know, these altars, offering up his name.
Yeah, and we not offering strange fire, man. Hey, IUIC, cut it out, man. Most High Christ bless. That's strange fire, man. That offering is off, you know. It's Yahweh Shai, man. You got it, bro.
Verse 28. Then shall they know that I am the Lord Yahweh, their power, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen.
What was that? Oh, and it's beautiful. Because see, all this is happening during the third woe, World War III, man. Because the heathens, they gonna acknowledge those the Israelites, and they went into captivity because they disobeyed the Lord, but now he have mercy on them again, man. Even they gonna see. And that's when everybody gonna know organized religion is some BS, man. Plantation Christianity and all these other religions are BS, man. You know? Go ahead, bro.
But I have gathered them unto their own land, and have left them none them any more there.
Right. Hey, so like Elder Malcolm said years ago, we out of here one way or another, man. You know? What's it, Ezekiel 20? You know, the Lord, he cursing out the Israelites in these other lands. That which come into your mind should not be at all. You think you're gonna be like the heathen. Lord, like, hell no. He don't care that y'all want to be niggas. He gonna stop you from being niggas. You know? All this gonna be cut out, man. You know? You got it, bro.
Verse 29. Neither will I hide my face any more from them, for I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel, said the Lord Yahweh.
That's right. And you opposing precept. All right, close out on this.
Book of Zephaniah, chapter 1. That's like, this is book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yeah, gather together, O nation not desired.
Yeah, and that, well, you can link that up with Baruch. And we being gathered, from east to the west, by the word of the Holy One, man. So, hey, we're the rejects, man. We're the outcasts. Brother read that earlier, man. You know? Hey, you just want to accept everybody, but we the people that's not accepted, man. You know? Salvation is for the Israelites, man. You know? Get with the elect. Yeah.
Hey, with that, we hope brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, we want to give all honor and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kamadash.
Double honors to our elder apostles, elder bishops, the great millstone rule well. Peace and blessing, health and wonders to the house of David the elect. A blah blah blah.
Blah, blah.
Come out, shalom.
Come out, shalom.
How about my shop on the thumb? Shalom.
Shalom.
Put your mind.